Hey there, sweet friends. This is Gina. Welcome to the Rebookery channel. I am going to do a video today showing you my last journal collection that I'm going to be doing for 2018. So I'm cleaning off my desk here and trying to make some space. I have, and I know that I say this every time, but I have made a collection that I feel like might be my favorite collection yet. It is all about sweet 70s. And so I'm going to show you my inspiration, and then I'll show you the journals. I have 9 journals, and then I'm going to have 3 same type of journals, but they'll be Christmas journals. So let me show you my inspiration, and then I'll show you what the journals look like. So my inspiration was using these gift books. And so gift books were really popular back in the 70s. I'm sure you can still get them, but 60s and 70s, these were really popular. A lot of them were made by Hallmark, which I live in Kansas City, so that's where the Hallmark headquarters are. And so I come across these quite a bit in like estate sales and things like that. But they were also made by other greeting card companies, like I think there was Sunbeam, Ambassador, American Greetings, which some of those are subsidiaries of Hallmark. But anyway, so you would find these in a greeting card store, and they would be a book that you would give someone, and it would be different holidays or just something to cheer somebody up. And I just remember having these as a little kid, like I would get them for my birthday and stuff. And then I just remember having them around like my grandma's house, my mom's house, and you just kind of sit them on your desk or your bureau or whatever, and they were just kind of little tchotchkes, like people would look at them when they came over or whatever. So anyway, I love them because it reminds me of being a kid in the 70s, but I also love them because the illustrations are amazing. There's a few of the illustrators that repeatedly did these books. Marilyn Conklin is one. There is Mary Alice Loberg, I think, is the other one. There's another, oh, I can't think of the other one's name. If I remember the other one's name, I'll write it down in the description below. But anyway, they just did, and I'll zoom in a little bit so you can see, these illustrations are amazing. They are just the sweetest illustrations, and it reminds me of that whole Holly Hobby era, the Little House on the Prairie era. I love them. So what I've done is I have just taken a collection of ones that were falling apart, and they're kind of like my golden books. I have ones that I just collect, that I just love and I look at, and then I have ones that are kind of in not very good shape that I want to reuse. I don't want them to just go to the trash. So I took ones that were kind of falling apart, and I wanted to make a journal that would highlight these. And so I slipped these guys in as pages in between the journal pages of these journals that I made. So let me show you what, and then here's like, this is the cover of one. So let me show you what the journals look like. All right, so here are the 9 journals that I made that are just like general. They're not a specific holiday or anything. And I really wanted to tie into 1970s calico, the whole Holly Hobby type of patterns and themes and fabrics. I wanted to pull colors from that time era, color combinations from that time era, so like burnt orange, and then some sheets from that time era, some greens, and I just had so much fun making these journals. So these journals are, they're going to be with you for a while. I've really gotten into making journals that can grow with you, because I feel like a journal is something that you're going to have for years. And so I've really gotten into just making these journals so that they will expand with you and your creativity. So when you get them, they're going to feel kind of light, but that's because I've allowed you so much room for growing. So you can kind of see, to me, this is my favorite type of journal. It's got a fat spine and then it's a skinny edge right here. And what that means is it's ready to be bulked up. And there's plenty of room in between the signatures so that I can add layers and layers of photos and paper, and I can add, take washi tape and add pockets and stuff inside of these signatures. And I'm not going to run out of room, and I'm not also going to end up with a journal that looks like an alligator. And so you've seen some journals where the spine is too small and they splay out like this. That is a hot mess of a journal. And trust me, I have several of them when I first started learning how to make journals that turned out like this, and they're not easy to carry around. They're hard to work in. And so over the years, I've gotten better at figuring out how a journal, my personal opinion, how a journal should work. So I love them. I love every one of them. And I don't even know which one I love the most, because each one of them I color coordinated and matched the sheet to the fabric, to the inside fabric, to the buttons, to even the little needlework patterns that I have, or the needlework pieces that I have on the front. Every one of them has been truly, truly thought out, and I put my heart and soul in them. I absolutely am in love with them, and I want to keep one, but I won't. All right, so this one, let me make sure I'm in frame here. So this one is just the same as all the other ones. They have a old vintage sheet as the sash. Is going to have a front cover and a back cover and then a thick spine. So it's not like my Inside Out where it had one more flap. This is just going to have a cover on the front, a cover on the back, and then the spine. So it has an old quilt as the inside lining. It has some wide trim. There's all different types of trim because I color coordinated each one. And those make nice big pockets. And then on the outside, I have taken some vintage fabric from an epic estate sale that I went to last winter actually. And she was a quilter, and so I've taken her fabrics and I've washed them, pressed them, and then put them into these journals. I've also put some quilting circles, and then a card of buttons has been sewn on the front. A doily that has come from either my Aunt Vincy or my Grandma Mary, one of those two, because I just kind of in a pile, and I took one of them and I just cut it apart and put it on the front cover. And it's all in different shapes and patterns and stuff. And then this is what the back looks like. So inside the journal, you're going to have 6 signatures. Now there is one journal that has more signatures, and I'll show you that one in a second. But this is going to have 6 signatures, and they're all basically set up the same way. So there's going to be wallpaper. There's this cool vintage paper that I got here recently, and it is like a chore list, and it's so cute, so cute. So it's got all these little sayings on here like made my bed, hung my clothes. Then I started to pull from my greeting card stash, and let me tell you, I put some good stuff in here. I had so much fun. So I took my greeting cards, I took my Betsy Clark, which is it was before Precious Moments. So Betsy Clark was a big greeting card name back in the 70s and early 80s. I think it was right before Precious Moments got started. So I got my Betsy Clarks. I got all of my little Hallmark gift books. All those authors, or the illustrators I was telling you about, I put their artwork in here. And my thinking was that you could use their artwork as either a page to journal on, or a page to draw on, or a page to add stickers to, or it could just be left plain in your journal and it would enhance the other pages around it, because they kind of are so beautiful. They speak for themselves and you almost don't need to do anything to them. Maybe put a little strip of washi tape down here or a little wash of watercolor. But other than that, they actually could become an accent to your other journal pages. So I tried to give you plain papers and then tried to give you pages that had those sweet, sweet 70s illustrations. There's going to be some envelopes. There's going to be some vintage stationery and vintage notebook paper. I really pulled out all of my, I just pulled out all my vintage stationery and just had so much fun mixing and matching. Here's a book cover from one of those gift books. I had so much fun mixing and matching and finding the right book pages. Oh, okay, here's one. This is Joan Walsh England, and it's Angland. She was a big time artist illustrator in this time period, and I love, love, love her books. So this was a big Joan Walsh England book that I had, and then the pages, because they were taller, I was able to do them, fold them horizontally, but oh, the sweet illustrations that they have. This is a greeting card that was like a booklet, and I pulled it apart, so now your center page is this awesome illustration with that rainbow. Some of my letterhead paper that I just got recently that I love. This is the other end of that book cover. Of course, security envelopes. I'm really loving these clear coin pockets, and so I there's one of these in each of the journals, and I love it because you can stick little papers in the little compartments here, or you can put photos, or you can put glitter or sequins, buttons. Some book pages from the 1970s. This is some of my favorite stationery. A calendar from, there's two different types of calendars. So there's going to be a kitty cat calendar. Then there's going to be another one. There's a Betsy Clark calendar. And I'll show you, look, this has some little crayon marks from the previous owner. We've got some fabric trim, some nice scrapbook paper, some ledger paper, some poetry books. And so this one is Prayers and Poems for Little Children, and it's a gold, I think it's published by Golden Book. It's a soft back, so it's not a hardcover book, and it's got the most beautiful illustrations. So I had a couple of copies of that, so those papers are in there. It's more of that little helper paper. Anyway, what was I talking about? Oh, this Betsy Clark calendar. So there is a calendar in here, and it was a postcard calendar, so it was just kind of a different size. It was like a long calendar, and it was the Betsy Clark brand, which was, like I said, similar to Precious Moments, and it's a recipe and a calendar, and so there's one of those pages in each of the journals. Okay, so this is a fun little page. This is a piece of cardstock, and then I've just taken some transparency and I've made a clear pocket here, and then I will put in a tag. Now, I have not filled the pockets of these things, so that's something that I have to do this weekend. I will fill those pockets and get them ready. Oh, look at that stationery, and get them ready for you guys. A lot of these things that I put in here were just stationery and postcards. This is some vintage current stationery and postcards that I've just been collecting for a long time, and I wanted to use them, but I wanted to use them in a way that would highlight them. And using a journal, making a journal like this that's full of all these 70s stationery and greeting card brands just really was the perfect place to put them. Okay, so here's the Betsy Clark. This is a calendar. It is a 1971. I think I've got 2 or 3 different ones. So there's 1971, I think there's a 1978. So there's a recipe and your Betsy Clark little illustrations. And then, flip this way. Look at that. Look at that stationery. Oh. Okay, we'll get all the way back over to here. And then the calendar is going to be on the other side. So, and then the back, of course, is going to be upside down because it's a calendar. So the notes page is going to be upside down. But, oh, I love that. So I thought that was just so cute because, again, You can use the illustration, you can journal in it, you can write over it, you can enhance it with stickers and color and paint and stuff, or it can just be an accent page. And then there's a vellum pocket that I made, and then that'll take us to the end of the book. So all the books are set up like this. So there are 6 signatures, and then there are 16 pages per signature. So then you get fronts and backs on all of that. So lots and lots of space for your journaling, lots and lots of space for you to grow. And I think this journal, it's a perfect size. I think this journal would be an awesome addition to your creativeness. And like I said, it would be one that you could hold on to for several years, I would think, or at least for me it would be, because I don't journal that fast. Okay, so let me show you my different color combinations. So this one is an orange and green. This one is a brown, and it's got like this country pattern. There's a rooster and a top hat. It's got a blue vintage sheet. There's the blue quilt, just some scraps of fabric. There's the spine, and there's the back. And on the inside, here's the trim, and I just put some vintage sheet along here to kind of give it a nice finish. This one is the white and green, and so it's got this pretty yellow sheet that I just got. Here's your buttons. They're in black, some dark blue accents, a little pin up here, safety pin with some scraps of fabric. Here is the spine, and it is so squishy, guys. It is so squishy. It feels so good in your hands. And then the inside for this is like this seafoam green wide trim. This is a darker one. This has got purples and blues, oranges. And so we got purple buttons. There's your red and off-white quilt scrap. There's your doily, the spine, the back, and the inside. Ooh, this is pretty trim with the lavender lace. Loved this color combination of the oranges. I actually used this on a couple of journals because, I'm sorry, burnt orange in the 70s, absolutely. So this one was kind of cool. This is blue, and then this really crazy orange color. Some orangey yellow buttons, some fabric scraps that I had laying around. Here's the spine, here's the back, and on the inside, here is, I love this trim. I use this trim a lot. It's a nice heavy trim, but you can see through it, and it's got these cool fruit designs on it. This is a yellow and green. When I was growing up, yellow and green was one of my favorite combinations. So this is yellow and green. This one I actually put the, when I bound this, I put the tie on the outside on some of the signatures, and it's got a couple different colors of thread. Here's the back. And then inside is some wide green trim. Here's the another orange one, a burnt orange, brown, and blue. I mean, is that not 70s? That is like, that is the quintessential 70s right there. And then this one has a button on it, a button card that has TG&Y sticker. Oh, I love that. So for this one, I put some buttons on the binding because with my journals, they're not perfect. Oh my gosh, I am not perfect at all. And so my journals are always a little wonky, and that's kind of my style. That's my thing. Everything I do is kind of wonky. I like things to be wonky. Now, wonky doesn't mean lesser quality. It just means things are not always perfect. You can totally tell that they're handmade. And so on the spine on this one, I wanted to kind of give you that truly handmade feeling, and so that's why I added some buttons and kind of, you know, mismatched them and had them not lining up, because I just wanted you to have that really cool handmade feeling. This is some of that fruit trim again, and then this is the cover to that Poems and Prayers for the Very Young. So I thought that was a cool thing to put in the journal just because it's nice and sturdy and it just fits perfectly. And then this one, I love this one because this is kind of a different color combination. This is more of like an 80s or 90s, even though it's still got the calico of the 70s. But I pulled in some pinks and some greens and some peaches on this one. So I really like that. And then I did some purple binding. And then here's the back, some fancy stitches. And then on the inside, here is that fruit trim again. Okay, so one of my journals, they're all 6/16, which means 6 signatures with 16 pages in each. But one of my journals, I tried something a little different. So for this journal, I wanted to do more signatures and see how that would work out. Now, I am a journaler myself, so I always think about when I'm making journals, would I use this myself? How would I want my journal to be set up? So this one I made with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I have 8 signatures in this, and you can see these guys are much, much closer together. These are about a 1/4 inch in between each of the signatures. And it has more pages, absolutely, because this is an 8 signature, and I think it's 8/16. So I think there's 8 pages in each one. Well, let me count. Let me see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, so 8 signatures and 16 pages per signature, and then you do your fronts and backs. So I only made one like this journal, and oh my gosh, this would last someone for a very long time. It feels so good in your hands, and it's made the same way with the quilts. I love the color combination on this one, the browns and the baby blues. And of course it has a TG&Y tag, which I think is so super cute. So I love this one too, but it's the only one that I have that is 8 signatures of 16 pages. Okay, so there are all 9 of my regular journals. Now let me show you my Christmas collection. I love my binder Christmas journal that we've been working on together with videos. And by the way, I have one more video that's gonna come, I'm gonna come out with, and I'll probably try to do it during that Thanksgiving weekend, just kind of a wrap-up video for our binder junk Christmas journals. And I'm gonna show you a couple of cool things that you can do with your binder journal if you just wanted to add some photos. So I've got one of those videos coming up. But all of these old 70s books really got me thinking about old 70s Christmas, and I don't know why. I just got so nostalgic, and I just got so weepy for childhood Christmas. So I bought myself a Christmas present. It was a Montgomery Ward's catalog, 1982. And if you've watched my videos before, if you've seen me in my This Is Me journal, I might have talked about this before, but Christmas catalogs, that was my jam. My brother and we would fight over the Christmas catalogs, and my mom would have to always go get us 2. So we had 2 Montgomery Wards, 2 Sears, and 2 JCPenney's Christmas catalogs, and we would go through and mark everything that we wanted. And it was like, it was the best time of the year was when we would get these. So I have one that I've been using. It's a 1976, and it's pretty worn. It's the person who had it before marked in it. But this one is all clean. It does not have any markings in it. And oh my gosh. So this was my inspiration because I wanted to create a journal that reflected my love of 1970s, 1980s Christmases. My Christmases back when I still loved toys and things like that. So these guys I have not bound yet, but I'll show you what they look like. And then these will also be for sale in my shop. So I have 3 of them. There is the smallest elf, and it's a soft back book that I've actually put onto a quilt. So this is a different quilt, and it has the same type of spine. Like I said, I just haven't bound it yet. And then it's got some fabric, some scrap fabric that I've put on the spine. It's a soft spine, soft cover journal. This one is Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. And here's what the back looks like. This one is Frosty the Snowman. And then they all have different spines. So Frosty has a blue spine, The smallest elf has a red spine, and then Rudolph has a green spine. So each one of these, and I'm still in the process of putting these guys together, but let me show you, before I bind them, let me show you what all you're gonna get in this. Okay. So this will be the same setup. It's gonna be a 6/16, so there'll be 6 signatures. So this is what the inside looks like before I actually bind it, okay? And then this is the sash. It's just this pink lace. This pale pink works really well with this quilt. This quilt's like a pinkish black with some red. It's a really, really pretty quilt, and I thought, okay, that will go perfectly with like Christmas. I was just thinking Christmas colors because that's kind of a non-traditional Christmas color. So in these signatures, again, I pulled on 70s greeting cards and stationery, but I tried to make it more Christmas themed. So there's going to be Christmas cards. There's going to be some letterhead paper. There's some Joan Walsh Anglin papers, again, from a book called Christmas is a Time of Giving. I actually had 2 copies of that book, and so I was able to put pages, several pages in each of these Christmas journals. Then there is some of that little helper paper again. The actual book pages from whatever book you're getting. So if this is Frosty, it'll have all the Frosty pages. And then there's going to be some scrapbook paper that I've done some decorative punching. Now I'm not done. I still have more pages that I need to add to each of the signatures. But basically, oh, look at that paper. Basically, it is the same format that you had in the other journals. It's just going to be a little bit different material. So this is a 1972 calendar. So each one has a month of December calendar from the 70s. And then it'll also have, oh, there's a little book cover right there. It'll also have another page from a calendar, and I'll see if I can find one. Here's some handmade paper. And this other page is actually, this is a Christmas card that I've actually sewn to a postcard. So let me see here. There's a pocket. The other page from the calendar, I'm looking. Where is it? All right, now I gotta find it. There we go. The other page from the calendar is gonna be from my train calendar collection that I have. And so what I did on that one is I flipped it over so that you'll see the train image, because I think I've told you this before, but I love Polar Express and it always reminds me of the holidays. So the trains and the fact that they were black and white just makes it awesome. But then the calendar is gonna be upside down because that was not what I wanted to highlight on this page. I wanted to highlight the trains. Okay, so let me go back to this. So, sorry, I know I'm all over the place. I'm just so darn excited about these. So then this is a page from some needlework or some sewing. These were those, they're like the pattern books that come with, you know, whenever you buy a pattern, there's the pages, the covers, and then there's the inside pattern pages. And so I took the covers, which are nice and sturdy, made those into pages. And then check this out. Do you remember painting in a coloring book where it had the paints on here and all you did was wet your brush and then you could pull color off of here and put it down in here? That's what I got going on in here. So there will be one page from a gingerbread boy or gingerbread man book, and then the other page I think was Little Red Riding Hood. Here's some more Joan Walsh Anglin again. This one is, I've just taken, this book was called A Slice of Snow. It was a little gift book called A Slice of Snow, and I sewed it onto some cardstock and some pretty Christmas paper. Yeah, here's the other one, and it's a Little Red Riding Hood, and so then you can actually put your brush on here, wet brush, and you can pull some of that paint off and put it down in your picture. Wallpaper, and I love this wallpaper. So this is some textured wallpaper. It's like seagrass wallpaper or woven wallpaper. There's a Christmas tree one, and then there's these pine cones, and it's got some of my Aunt Vincie's or Grandma Mary's, I can't remember which one, tablecloth, Christmas tablecloth. Some sheet music, some more stationery, and then the book page. And so like I said, I'm still in the process of putting these guys together. I have a few more. I only have so much time on the weekends, and so when Sunday night comes along and my time is up, I have to stop for the week and I don't get to pick it back up again until the next weekend. So my plan, today's Thursday, my plan for Friday and Saturday is to finish these up and get them bound and also get them listed on Etsy. I'm thinking about doing a Saturday night sale this time, just because I've had some people tell me that Sunday is not the best for them, and I totally understand, and I apologize if it's an inconvenience. So we'll mix it up a bit, and I think what we'll do is let's list these Saturday night. So tomorrow is the 16th, so Saturday will be the 17th. So let's go Saturday evening, and let's go 5 o'clock Central Time. So Saturday 17th at 5 p.m. I will list all 12 of these journals in my Etsy shop. So this is a page from the book, the Frosty the Snowman, but you can see it's kind of wrinkled because, again, these books were ones that were well loved, so they're not going to be in the best condition, and that's okay because that's the ones we want to journal on. And then this is a pocket I made with some holiday recipes. So I still have some work to do on these guys, but I will definitely have them done and photographed and ready to be purchased in my shop by Saturday evening. Let me make sure they're all in frame. By Saturday evening at 5 p.m. And then what I think I'm going to do, guys, is I think, I don't know. I think I'm going to take a little break from journal making for a while. Definitely taking a break from journal making. I don't know if I'm going to close my shop or not, but I've got some things going on, and I just kind of need to take care of things. Plus, my babies at school need me, and I really need to kind of focus on what's going on at school, and then with the holidays and everything coming up. So I'm not neglecting you. I still have a lot of plans for videos that I want to make. I want to do another Christmas binder junk journal video. I also want to do a flip through of my junk planner. How are you guys doing on your junk planner? My November, oh my gosh, it has flown by. Like, I took a long time to fill up October, but oh my gosh, my November is so full, and it's full of Christmas stuff. So you can tell I've got Christmas on the brain. So I want to do a video on that. I also want to do a video and revisit my journal, my Christmas journal from last year, and I want to rebind it. I've got some ideas on how I want to rebind it. And then I just want to do some process videos. So I think what I'm going to do is just put these in my shop. I'll decide if I want to keep my shop open. I kind of had some ideas of some things I wanted to put in my shop. I'll give you a little hint. It has to do with this, but I just haven't decided, and I just don't know if I'm going to have enough time. So we'll have to see. If not, this'll keep till the beginning of the new year. And anyway, I wanted to thank you guys for hanging out with me today. I hope you enjoyed the new collections that I have put together. I hope you guys are healthy. I hope you guys are happy, and I hope you do something creative today. I'll see you Saturday evening, 5 p.m. in my Etsy shop this November, almost said December, November 17th. These guys will be listed in my shop. Have a great rest of the day. Bye.